A jagged scar stretched across the tin roof of my family's barn, splintered wood and debris spilling out like the aftermath of a beast rampage. The mighty oak, a century-old guardian of our land, lay shattered atop the wreckage, its roots torn from the soil as if it had never belonged. No notice, no discussion, just a 911 call and a snap decision from the HOA, labeling it an eyesore. They thought they could erase it and move on, but they didn't know the roots of that tree ran deeper than their shallow plans. What unfolded next turned our quiet suburban street into the talk of the county, exposing a scheme so bold it would cost one woman everything she'd schemed to gain. I'm James Hartley, a 52-year-old software engineer, and this is the story of how a single tree sparked a battle that reshaped my neighborhood and my life. It began when I pulled into my driveway in Maplewood, Virginia, after a 3-day business trip to Denver. The air carried a sharp scent of sawdust and ruin. Where my great-grandfather's oak had stood for over 100 years, there was now a gaping wound in the earth. The barn, built by my grandfather in 1950, was crushed. Its metal roof twisted like crumpled foil, oak beams snapped like twigs. Inside, family treasures photos, my mother's china, my father's tools lay buried under tons of wood and metal. As I stood frozen, keys slipping from my hand, I heard the sharp click of heels. Margaret Langley, the HOA president, emerged from her pristine property line, her navy blazer immaculate, her expression cold as a winter morning. "James, you're back," she said, her voice polished from years of boardroom battles. "We need to discuss the emergency removal. That tree was a safety hazard after last week's storm." I stared at her, my voice rough. "Margaret, that tree was inspected 6 months ago. It was solid." She waved a manicured hand, dismissing me. As HOA president, I act for the community. We had reports of instability. The barn damage was unfortunate. Her words rang hollow. The tree's fall had spared her prized azalea beds just 20 feet away, but obliterated my barn with surgical precision. How did she know I'd be gone? Why no call? I spotted papers scattered in the debris, old surveys, my grandfather's meticulous records, now crushed under the oak. Near the roots, the soil showed signs of rushed, sloppy excavation. This wasn't a safety call. It was a calculated strike. I called the county dispatch office. The 911 recording was damning. Margaret's voice, cloaked in fake urgency, reported a dangerous tree at my address, placed 20 minutes after I'd left for Denver. I hadn't posted my trip online. She'd been watching me. My neighbor, Tom Grayson, an 80-year-old who'd known my family for decades, filled in the gaps. "Margaret wasn't always like this," he said, pruning his roses. 15 years ago, she wanted to buy part of your land for her son to play on during custody visits. Your grandfather refused to sell, but offered to let the boy play anytime. She didn't take it well. After losing custody, Margaret changed. She climbed the HOA ladder, imposing rules to control the neighborhood. Tom leaned closer. "That tree blocked her lake view. With property values soaring, that view's worth millions." He paused. "She's been tracking everyone's schedules, calling it security. Creepy, if you ask me." The pieces clicked. Margaret wasn't protecting the community, she was clearing the way for a bigger prize. That night, I dug into the HOA's shared email system. An email chain with Blue Water Development, titled Lakeside Haven Project, revealed Margaret's plan: transform our neighborhood into a luxury lakefront community. She'd earn a 15% cut on every property sold. A spreadsheet listed our homes, with resistance ratings and buyout costs. My property, a legacy holdout, was targeted. Over 6 months, she'd passed 47 new HOA rules: grass height restrictions, paint color approvals, holiday decor limits designed to harass us into selling. Fines piled up, draining families until they broke. Margaret's mistake was her digital trail. Emails outlined pressure tactics, target the elderly, exploit maintenance violations. She'd used HOA funds, our money, for legal fees and transition services to force us out. Her emergency powers, buried in old bylaws, let her declare crises to justify actions like my tree's removal. She'd been building toward this for years. The next morning, I sifted through the barn's wreckage. My grandfather's fireproof safe, crushed but cracked open, held a legal gold mine. A 1923 survey showing our property extended into Margaret's land, her garage, her garden, half her house. Letters from 1952 documented a county error that shrank our land. My great-grandfather let it slide to spare neighbors, but the county never fixed it. A note in my grandfather's hand, dated 2 years before his death, mentioned Margaret's ex-husband, Robert Langley, promising to resolve the issue. He never did. Margaret, knowing her house stood on stolen land, tried to erase the evidence by destroying my barn. Instead, she exposed it. I built a website, Maplewood Truth, posting every email, invoice, and document. I called Lisa Harper, a journalist with a blog, Suburban Shadows, known for exposing HOA corruption. She arrived with a camera crew, filming the scattered papers and the oak stump. "This is bigger than your tree," she said. "It's fraud on a massive scale." We live-streamed me opening the safe, reading the 1923 survey aloud. Viewers surged to 50,000, the hashtag Hartley versus Margaret trending. Lawyers in the chat offered help. The world was watching. Margaret doubled down. At 4 a.m., a text announced an emergency landscaping crew to clear my remaining trees. By 8 a.m., workers in unmarked trucks descended, chainsaws roaring. Lisa live-streamed it, 20,000 viewers raging in real time. A county prosecutor commented, "This is felony evidence." At 10 a.m., a courier delivered a lawsuit from Margaret's lawyer, demanding $200,000 for damaging community standards. Her timing was her undoing her actions. Broadcast live, shredded her claims. That night, Margaret called an emergency HOA meeting to expel me. She expected a quick win. Instead, she faced a packed room of supporters, drawn by Lisa's stream. My lawyer, Bill Carter, distributed the 1923 survey and proof of Margaret's fraud. Blue Water Development had withdrawn, citing property irregularities. Lisa asked, "Shouldn't we vote on your removal, Margaret, for living on stolen land and misusing funds?" Margaret's facade cracked. "I just wanted a place for my son," she whispered, her voice breaking. She fled the room, her heels echoing defeat. 3 weeks later, Judge Evelyn Whitaker ruled. Margaret owed $15 million, $300,000 for my barn, $800,000 for 70 years of illegal land use, $400,000 in fees and punitive damages. Her house, built on my family's land, was auctioned to pay the debt. She was banned from HOA boards for a decade, her case a law school staple. I used the settlement to reclaim our land and build Hartley Heritage Park, a public space with 7 oak saplings symbolizing resilience, generosity, patience, integrity, community, memory, and hope. A plaque, carved from barnwood, read, "Dedicated to those who know kindness isn't weakness, and true community grows from nurturing what exists, not destroying it." The HOA's 47 rules were scrapped, replaced with a cooperative charter. Lisa's documentary, Rooted, won awards and sparked regional HOA reforms. 6 months later, Margaret's son, Daniel, sent a letter. "My mother was wrong, but thank you for focusing on justice, not humiliation. She thought a perfect neighborhood would bring me back. She's struggling, but I hope she finds a better path, like you did." Sitting under the young oaks, I realized justice isn't just punishment, it's restoration. Margaret's greed cost her everything, but it gave my community a new foundation built on truth and shared history. My grandfather's kindness, once exploited, prevailed through courage. This wasn't just my victory, it was a reminder that no one can erase a legacy when its roots run deep. What do you think about this story? Have you faced injustice or abuse of power in your community? Share your thoughts in the comments. Should we fight back with evidence and transparency or seek other paths? Your voice matters.